Hello everybody, welcome to Resin. Today we're going to be doing this clock. It's a new mold that I got from Amazon, I believe, and I'm really excited about it. I've been on a real clock kick lately, and it's pretty good size. It measures, let's see, about 13 inches this way. Yeah, just about 13 inches. And about 14 inches going the other direction at the longest, at the widest part, okay? 14 inches. So it's a pretty good size clock. And yeah, so we are going to be using mica powder from Sigwang, I believe. I'll have to double check on that name. But yeah, I ordered a box of those mica powders with really beautiful, vibrant colors. I'm also going to be using golden for my main clock color, and this black paint pen, which I'm going to be painting the numbers with that. So these numbers are raised, and gosh, they are really easy to just paint over with the on the numbers and not hit the clock face. It goes over very smoothly. So now I've sprayed just a bit of alcohol on a paintbrush, and I'm just kind of cleaning up around the numbers. There really wasn't much to clean up because the pen did a really great job just staying at the top of the numbers. Okay, for this part, I'm doing 3 separate colors for the places around my clock. So I'm going to start with this darker blue, and I basically will do every third one in each color, and I'm just painting them I'm just painting the mica powder on with a paintbrush. Just spraying just the tiniest bit of alcohol on the tip of my brush so that it doesn't kind of have static problems and fly around. It's looking good so far. There's only one little part of the blue left to do. And after I would do every 2 or so of those, I would turn it over and kind of give it a good pat over the trash to kind of get rid of all the excess loose mica powder. Okay, the blue is all done, and I'm just going to take a baby wipe here and kind of clean up all around the edges before I start the next color. Okay, I'm going to clean off my brush really well from the blue, and I'm going to start my orange color and just kind of start the same sequence again and do every third one of these. The contrast of the colors are really pretty next to each other. Okay, gosh, we're on our third color now, and we will finish these prongs after we're done with this green, and it's really looking pretty. I'm so excited to see how this will turn out. Okay, this part's done and it looks really good. Now I'll be back in just a little bit. We are going to start the color on the face. Okay, we're going to be using Golden from Let's Resin. For the mica powder, I've already started on the face of the clock with this color, and we're just going to be taking our paintbrush there and making our way through each of the numbers and kind of in the crevices of some of the small parts of the numbers, like in the loops of the number 8 and inside of the number 4, things like that. Now, when we get mica powder on top of our numbers, it's really going to be okay because the paint pens are already dry, so we can just simply take a baby wipe and easily clean off the tops of those numbers. It really helps that they're nice and raised, makes it really easy to work with. This is a great mold. Okay, now the only thing really that we have left of this part is just to get these little narrow areas done, and we are still using our golden mica powder. Okay, now this is a good time to come in and do any final little cleanup around the numbers. Touch them up if they need to be touched up with the black paint pen, or just to clean them off and then let it air dry and get it ready for the resin to be poured. Gosh, you guys, look how pretty this is. Look at the shimmer that the mica powders are picking up. The metallic is just so pretty. So what I've decided to do with this is to back it with black. And I am using black India ink, and it's just a really dark opaque black. It's so pretty. I'm not sure what's going to happen putting the black next to with the blue and the green. I don't know what that's going to do to the colors. I know it's going to probably dilute my colors some, but I'm hoping that I still will have a difference between the two. So we're going to just get this stirred and then pour really slowly over each of the paddles and let them kind of slowly go into those little fine, smaller areas there that lead to the clock face. And then also what I like to do is pour a small amount onto each of the numbers so that they can kind of start sinking into some of those little crevices and things. going to make sure that I give my resin a good spray of alcohol to get rid of any bubbles that I might have. I like to use these cut-off water bottles because it really helps you to be able to pinch the side of it closed. They're super flexible and it makes them easy to pour into a small space. I'm using a baby wipe or a paper towel after each pour so that I'm careful not to drip any of the black resin into places I don't want it to be. Okay, here I want to pour really slowly into these crevices and also around the numbers in the face of the clock. This is where I really need the resin to get into those tiny crevices inside of the numbers, like the 8 and the 6 and the 4, etc. This is a good time to come in and top off any of these paddles that aren't quite as full as the rest of them. You want them all as even as you can get them. Okay, it's just a good time now just to do a quick cleanup, to take your baby wipe or a paper towel and just kind of wipe up around the edges. So we're going to let this cure. We're going to give it a good spray of alcohol and look for any bubbles. And then as soon as it is cured, we will be back to demold this. I'll see you then. Okay, everybody, we're back to demold our clock. It's completely cured, and I'm hoping, I decided not to clean up all of this little overage, that it would be a lot easier just to pick it off here after it dried. So I can do that after we're done. So anyway, see how this turned out. Excited to see this clock. Been wanting to get it made here for a while. So let's see. I'm not sure. Demolding these and having them stay out of their molds might take a minute. So let's see here. Oh, gosh. Oh wow, you guys. Here it is. That turned out really pretty. So my so you know, I did like a green, let's see. I did a green, orange, and blue. This was the gold, and the rings here were the gold. And then the orange turned kind of a bronze. And gosh, these two with the black background kind of look the same. Well, let's see here. Okay, so the dark blue, you can kind of see the blue here is a bit darker than this. I don't know how it's showing up on the screen, but here in person, at least the way the angle is for me, they just all pretty much look blue
and kind of a bronze with the gold. But you know what? It's pretty. And I see our black numbers came through okay. Gosh. So I think this is going to need to cure for a little bit longer. It's a bit floppy right now. I guess if you wanted to make a bowl out of this, you could. That actually might be something I would try another time. I am going to let this finish like hardening up a bit, because I think it's some of these areas here that are really thin, like these little things here. I'm going to need to trim up some of that. I didn't notice before, but yeah, here's the back. And then, yeah, right now they're all kind of alive. They're all going out their own directions, but. So, gosh, I mean, I guess the next time I make one of these, I could actually just kind of make these little things go whichever direction I really wanted them to go. They're just really floppy when you first demold it. But, yeah. I really like it. I think it really turned out really pretty, though. I'll bring you down for a close-up, okay? And then I'll be back a little bit later after these have kind of firmed up a bit, and to put in our clock piece. Okay, I will see you then. Hello everybody. Okay, so we are almost done with this clock. I went ahead and I let it sit to cure, gosh, a couple of extra days, okay? Because these little spindles here that hold the decoration part of the clock up, because they were so thin and narrow, it took quite a bit of time for them to cure to where they were kind of staying where they needed to be. So see, as you can see now, it just stays, they stay flat, sticking out. For quite a few days, they would kind of flop down as soon as I picked it up. But now it is well cured, and we are going to put the clock part together. Now this clock came with a, with its hands and clock mechanism, and I actually ended up having to borrow that out to put it in my teapot clock, okay, because the ones that I got with the teapot clock didn't work with it. So but anyway, I have ordered more of the ones that will fit this one, but what I did notice is that my hands here are a bit too long, okay, but I like the size of these hands for this clock as far as the width of them here. The length is too long, but the width is great. And I ordered these on Amazon in a box of 5 mechanisms, and they all have these nice long little threaded things here, so they would fit probably in just about any resin clock you could make, I would imagine, at least out of a simple mold. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to just simply, hopefully, just trim these hands down to where I want them. I'm going to have to cut off the cute little design there, but that's okay. I just got to keep track of which hand is which. This is our second hand, the longest one, and I'm going to do that one last. And so here's our hour hand and our minute hand. So as you can see, if I cut these off right here underneath the design, it should work just right for the length of this. Okay, so these are metal, but gosh, snip right off. And I don't think that you'll even be able to tell that we've kind of manipulated these, you know, when it's all put together here. And let's see, so we want our second hand to be just a tad bit longer. Let's see, this is going to go out almost to the edge. This one's going to be moving but I'm going to have it go right to the very edge of the clock. Okay, let's see. Yep, that should be just about right. Maybe just a tiny bit more. Okay, so there we go. And now we have all of our hands. And see if I can remember how we did this on the other clock. We put the little rubber thing here goes on the back. Okay, see if I remember this now. I believe that this part goes that way. Let's see, let's go that way or this way. You know, these don't really come with directions. You have to kind of have to wing it yourself. This has little grooves here in this little washer, this little flexible washer, and there's grooves here, so I'm going to assume that this is going to fit into that and go this way. This is going to be the holder to hang our clock up. Let's see, the battery. I think I'll have the battery where the battery will be down at the bottom of the clock. So this will go in here. Is that right? Or actually, so this goes down first. Okay, this fits right over that little ring, nice and securely. Then this little flexible washer goes in after that. Okay, and then you're going to put it here, thread it through the back of the clock, and you're going to want the hang tag here to point at the 12, so that when you hang it up, it's going to be where you want it to be. It's going to hang straight. Let's see, where did that go? But if you just kind of finger tighten this, then you can kind of fix it later. Okay, so now let's see, look at my other clock there. Okay, so now this one will go here, and then this one goes, and this one goes, how's that go? Hang on, let me look at my other clock really quick. Hold on. Okay, so then we have our little washer in here, and then we're going to take our nut and we're going to kind of just finger tighten that on. Doesn't need to be super tight. That out there, okay. So then next comes our hour hand, and this will fit right down over and kind of snap onto this larger part here. There we go. You want to be careful not to bend. Most of these little clock mechanisms, the little metal hands are super thin, so they're very bendable. This will go over this next one here. There we go. They kind of snap on. And then the second hand goes on at the end, and you just kind of push that in nice and tight. Make sure that your hands are not bent, so that they're going to run into each other, okay? Like this one seems to be a bit bent. There we go. All right, now that seems like it's about right. So now I'm going to go grab a battery. I don't know if I've got anything in here. I've got to go grab a AA battery, and I'll be back just a minute. Okay, I'm back. I grabbed a little AA Amazon battery here, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set my clock. It is 1:44 here. It's probably about right. Let's see. I think, are you supposed to like start these at noon, right? And then you move this around so that your hour hand is correct. I think that's what you do. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it at about 1:45. Okay. So let's go ahead and put our battery in. See how this works. There we go. Okay, battery's in. Let's see how it's working. And it is working. There goes our our second hand is going around, and it is looking great. My gosh, I love this. It has kind of a mid-century modern look to it. I didn't get the greens that I was hoping to get. There is a very vague difference in the two blues. They turned out to both be kind of a blue, but you can a little bit tell the difference. But I really love this clock. Gosh, all the different colors you could do with this. So many different possibilities, and I'm gonna be excited to try several different things. I think this was really fun to do. Gosh, what do you guys think of this clock? Huh? It's about 14 inches, I believe, at the longest points here, and here. Yeah, I think at all these points they are 14 inches. So anyway, I really love how this turned out. I can't wait to hang it up, and I'm excited to know what everybody thinks about this. I will come down and bring you in for a closer view. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you all, and thank you for joining me. I will see you next time.